Houston, this is Dark Star. See you out. Dark Star copies all. Go ahead. Message to Observer. Alpha, 3 rounds. AT delay in effect. 3 guns. Bravo, 2 rounds, 2 guns. Smoke on the deck.
Okay, my peeps, you know what to do. Go ahead. Hit your back button. Go into loadout. Let's go. Okay, so before starting this, my peeps, let me tell you, I've come across an absolutely crazy ass fun game, but crazy ass hard game, and that would be called Elite Dangerous. To me, it is probably the best flight simulator, even though it takes place in space, than anything on console. I haven't played a flight simulator that is this specific since the PC. So with that being said, my peeps, you might want to check that out. I have it for PS4 if you want to fly together sometimes. I know you can teach me stuff. I was on it 24 hours straight night before last, just wanted to get a newer game, and I came across it, and I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. Those that know me know how much I like flight simulators, as well as how I used to be in FSX. Used to play that a ton of my peeps. So with that being said, let's go. Go ahead, hit your loadout, go into head. Before we start this is pretty much for an Army pilot. However, you can use it for just about any pilot situation you want. Okay, facial hair. Today, I'm going with none. Surprise, surprise, I know. Hair, today we're going to go ahead and keep that high and tight going, and we're going to keep it squared away. Hair color, brown. Facial detail, burn on the left side. Body details. Okay, my peeps, today we're going to be going with the eye black for our facial paint. Main reason being, I actually knew quite a few choppers that would wear the eye black even under their visor. With that being said, obviously we don't have visors in this game. Even though there are flight helmets in this game. Yeah, they're in here.
Alright, so you know how we don't have an official pilot helmet in the game?
Yeah.
All they gotta do is just give us this helmet that he's wearing.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. Okay, I feel you.
All they gotta do is just give it to us. They already have it.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point, man. They decided that we didn't need them, even though it would not be shit for them to go ahead and let us equip them in our gear. You hear me, Yubi? I'm talking to you. So let's go ahead and put on the eye black. Like I said, I've always worn the eye black. Even when I have my war paint on, I always, in my camouflage scheme, make sure that I get the black under the eyes. It actually does help you for brightness. Even inside, it doesn't have to be just for the sun. Obviously, that's why you see Major League Baseball and football players wearing them. I don't really see them that much in soccer, but I guess soccer you should also call football. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Right arm, Santa Maria. Left arm, we're going with Mi Familia. My grandson's doing well. For those that asked, he is going to be a huge kid. Okay, clothes. Now, peeps, today, as you see on the tops, I have it with the jacket. You can also wear the light hunting jacket. I actually like that as well. However, I kind of don't like the hoodie on the back. Again, as stated, this is more for an Army pilot because, I mean, quite honestly, those are the pilots that I worked with were from the Army. Again, we're equipping the jacket on this one. You know, it looks just like a flight jacket. It would definitely be something that they would wear. And seeing how we are very limited as far as a pilot build with the Wildlands, with that being said, we're going to go with the jacket for that reason too. Now, I'm going to tell you before we even start this that you are authorized to wear the United States Air Force Digital Tiger. But to me, the OD green actually looks better in my opinion. However, if you're role-playing Air Force or whatnot, they are the only military branch that are still authorized to wear the Tiger Stripe. Now, I'm not saying that Special Forces or Spec Ops do not wear the Tiger Stripe. It would be for a limited. They would have to do a completely new AR for it so that you were authorized to wear it. I've been in situations like that where the whole United States Army were only authorized to wear a certain set of camo. However, due to a mission that my unit participated in, they actually had to print out a AR for my specific unit so that we could be approved to wear the Tiger Stripe. So with that being said, my peeps, you are authorized to wear the Air Force Digital Tiger, but since this is pretty much an Army build, I'm going to go ahead and keep it in the olive drab. Vest, we're just going with the Mole harness, and that is all a pilot really needs, and we'll be putting that in the olive drab. Pants, we're going to keep it clean, and we're going to go with the Cargo A in the 2234. Footwear, hiking boots, put those in the black. Ghillie suit, obviously none. Accessories, let's go. Okay, with the eyewear. Now, there are two things that I was looking at. One, obviously, were the aviator glasses, okay? And then I was also looking at the ESS ballistic goggles for the simple fact that it actually kind of looks like a flight helmet visor, but not really. So I decided to go with the aviator sunglasses. So go ahead and equip that. I'm not hating you if you want to put the ESS on. And actually, a lot of the time, besides wearing my Oakleys, I would actually, before the Oakleys were authorized, I actually went hardcore with the classic gargoyles. I know that if you were in the military in the 90s, there was a good chance you were wearing these badass gargoyles. But since this is a pilot build, we're going to go ahead and put the aviator sunglasses on. Now, I do have a build coming up where I indeed do wear the old school gargoyles. I actually have a pair of gargoyles to this day, even though they're not really popular anymore. They still make a good combat pair of sunglasses. So go ahead, equip the aviator sunglasses and get on to face wear, which is going to be none. I was messing around with maybe putting on a shamag, but to be honest, you're not going to be wearing a shamag because of the chance that it could be sucked off your neck into the turbine, into the prop. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wear none on the face. Headwear. Now, my peeps, I know it was really hard for me to decide. I decided in the end to go with the carbon high cut helmet because it gives you that fullness where you would get, should I say, in a flight helmet. So I did try to make it kind of look beefy like a flight helmet. And then I also messed around with putting on the baseball cap. But to be honest, you will see pilots in baseball caps. However, not usually when they're flying if they are in the military. So with that being said, we're going with the carbon high cut helmet, and you'll be putting that in the olive drab. If you remember, our door gunner actually wears the FBH, but because this is a pilot, because I want the likeness of a flight helmet, we're going to go ahead, put the carbon high cut on it, and you will be putting that in the 2233. Headset, we're going to go with headset B, but I'm not hating you if you want to put headset A on. I was real close to going with A because, again, for the fullness of a flight helmet. However, I decided that I would go with headset B, but honestly, A, B, or C, you definitely need a headset on, and you will be equipping whatever you equip in the 1.6. Handwear, why wouldn't we go with the Oakley pilots, right? Even though, to be honest, many pilots actually wear the Nomad. So with that being said, though, go ahead, throw that Oakley pilot on. Whatever you throw on, you're going to be wanting to equip that in the 1.5 neutral. Rucksacks, negative. No rucksacks. We'll go with the Camelback. You'll be putting it as well in the olive drab. I don't believe we've ever done a build, operators, that we actually had all the camos in one set. So go ahead, put the olive drab on, role play if you would like that it is a parachute. That's one good thing about the Camelback. You can always role play like it is actually a parachute. So let's go. You're going to be putting the Camelback in the 22. Patches, I don't care what you put on. I will be going with the Romeo 9. Let's roll, my peeps. Also, don't forget, you can definitely put on a flag. If you put on a flag, though, I would definitely subdue it. Let's go. So go ahead and put it in whichever patch you want. Me, I'm going with Romeo 9. So my peeps, that's it. That is the build I came up with pretty much for the Universal Pilot. Just don't forget that you can put the Digital Tiger on it. It's totally acceptable. But again, this is more of an Army pilot, and they do actually wear a lot of OD green. So with that being said, let's get on to weapons. Okay, let's dive right into the weapons, operators. First, primary, we will be carrying, actually. Now, let me reiterate that obviously they would not carry any slung weapons, obviously. They do carry the M4 in Little Birds. They have it stowed. I mean, it's very cramped quarters, but they actually do have an M40 and the M249, the SAW. When I was in, they would cram both those weapons. For the co-pilot would usually man the 240, and the pilot would actually have the M4. But yes, they were definitely crammed up into the cockpit on the Little Bird, and actually on the Apache as well. They actually would stow an M4. So with that being said, just remember, this is the only thing we can do on Wildlands, obviously. So getting on with it. So what we're going to do for the primary, we will go ahead and equip the MP5. Now, unlike, there's a first for everything, and on pretty much on our weapon builds here, we're just going to go with the standard issue black, right? So paint presets, go ahead, everyone should have it. Equip the black. Parts, we're going to run down it real quick, of course. Due to space and the compactness of the folded buttstock, we will be going with the 1-2. Scope, I'm not hating you. This is absolutely whatever scope you want to carry, we'll go ahead and put it on. To be quite honest with you, since there's not really any room in a Little Bird, they never actually had scopes on either one, the SAW or the M4, while stowed in the cockpit. So with that being said, you can use any sight you want. If you want to keep it real, just put on the iron sight. If not, go ahead and equip any freaking sight aperture you would like, making assurance that you will be putting it in the 1-2. Trigger, full auto semi. Magazine, we will not be going with the extended, again, because of the space that we have inside a Little Bird. So you'll go ahead and put the standard 20 in. So operators, mind your trigger finger and your burst control. Underbarrel, we will put the ABG on it. So stick with the ABG, put it in the 1 black. Absolutely, you cannot put on any kind of grip that protrudes from the weapon, again, because of the space. ABG, number 1-2 black, or rail cover. Rail, obviously, like I just said, rail cover, put it in the 1-2 black. Barrel, of course, we're going with the standard barrel. Again, I know that I keep saying it is because of the limited space inside really any birds besides like the Black Hawk or the Chinook. And even as far as putting rifles in the cockpit, it's still going to be very cramped. Standard barrel, 1-2 black. Muzzle, going with the stock muzzle. Go ahead, you can equip a suppressor, put it in the 1-2 black. However, equip the stock muzzle, switch suppressor as needed. And my friends, one of my favorite submachine guns, the MP5, again, staying with the trueness of the build, staying authentic. You really wouldn't even have a sight on this. Let's go. Secondary, couple of things I want to tell you about the secondary now. The door gunner build, obviously, you're going to carry an LMG. For the pilot build, we're going to go ahead, for our secondary, go ahead and equip the M4. But again, as I stated, it is really cramped. But one of my buddies I was talking to last night was he's actually still in the Army. He's a warrant officer right now, and he is a Little Bird pilot. So when I was talking to him, he basically told me that they actually do carry a SAW inside the Little Bird cockpit, and it's stowed. However, it's completely stripped down, and you know, basically they carry the saw with an egress kit inside the cockpit. Again, for the M9, not trying to get ahead of myself, but for the M9, they actually carry it on their vest plate carrier, and they keep the M4 within the arm's reach, and usually they'd have it looped on part of their seat. So with that being said, we're going to carry the M4 this time around. However, I'm not hating you, because as stated, they actually have in the cabin or in the cockpit, they actually have a saw. So if you want to carry it, you can carry it with this build as well, staying true and authentic. But I'll go ahead and show you paint presets. You're going to put it in black, and then parts just go down stock, buttstock, black. We're going to go with the polymer. We're going to go with the polymer iron sights, and again, really, you would probably put an ACOG on it. However, due to the compactness in the cab, or in the cabin, or in the cockpit, however you want to call it, they absolutely do not have sights on them in a Little Bird. Okay, so go ahead, put the iron sights on it, and put those in the 1.2. Trigger, full auto. Magazine, 150, 1.2 black. Under barrel, just the rail cover. Again, we're carrying stripped down weapons, and we will be putting that in the 1.2 black. Rail, go with the rail cover only, 1.2 black. Barrel, standard barrel, obvious reasons, 1.2 black. And then for the muzzle, go ahead and put the compensator Victor 2. So we will be equipping the Victor 2. And that, my friends, is what you're going to carry inside the cabin with you. And basically, they have that stowed wherever they can. And again, the co-pilot would usually grab this. They usually have one M4 and basically a saw, because it's a little bit smaller than other LMGs. As long as it's the Para. I know this isn't exactly the saw, but as I've stated in many other videos, the saw was probably my favorite LMG while I was in, and yeah, so that's what we're going with. So you can carry either one of these. If you're actually going to role play as a co-pilot, I would strap the saw on my back, and then the pilot would have the M41. Again, though, remember your door gunner can also help you out with grazing fire and such, because he will be carrying the MK. So go ahead, equip the M4. Let's go ahead and go into paint presets with this. Again, all your weapons, stripped down, standard issue. We'll go with the black. Parts, go with the stock 1.2. Scope, stock iron sights, my peeps. That's right, stock iron sights. Again, because of the space available in the cabin, i.e. cockpit, we will not put any scopes on, which a lot of people don't understand. When you bang those scopes around, sometimes you'll take them out of adjustment. So there's really, you know, no reason to carry a scope. That's one thing. If you're going to role play as a pilot, just go ahead. You get to fly everything, but the downside is your firepower and basically any attachments are going to be at the very minimal. So go ahead, iron sights, put that in the 1.2 black. Trigger, full auto semi. Magazine, no extended. We're going with the 30. Even though it says extended, it's really not extended, my peeps. But staying true, you can go ahead and put the 20 in. I ain't hating you if you want to drop the 20, but you are authorized operators to go ahead and throw the 30 in. Put that in the 1.2 black. Under barrel, obviously, just rail cover. Keep that in the black. Rail cover, 1.2 black. Barrel, standard barrel, of course. You don't want to be carrying the long barrel. It's hard enough stowing weapons in the cockpit, as stated about a fucking million times in this video. Go ahead, throw that in the 1.2 black. Muzzle, go ahead, throw it in the stock muzzle. You can put the compensator, just equip it in the black, however, carry the stock muzzle, but again, not hating you. This is like the only accessory that you can put on any of these weapons. Staying true to my pilot build would be the compensator Victor 2. That's your choice. I'm going to go ahead and equip the Victor 2 in the black. And that's it, my peeps. That's what they carry. That is actually absolutely what they have stowed, either this or the M4. Now, they usually carry both, as stated. Co-pilot will man the SAW, and the pilot will grab the M4. Getting on with it, handgun, obviously standard issue M9 Beretta. Again, you would not be carrying it on a holster, on your side, on a hip holster, basically. It would actually be on above your trauma plate on your chest in a 45 holster, 45 degree holster, if you know what I mean. Not a 45 weapon. Basically, you'd equip your holster on your chest and can it in a 45 degree to make easier to draw. So go ahead, equip the M9. Basically, you're going to put it in black, and everything else will be in black with no accessories. Rail cover black, barrel standard barrel black. Muzzle suppressor you'll put in the black, stock muzzle black, and equip. Switch to suppressor as needed. The M9 Barata 9mm. Let's go. Now, I will state that in Vietnam, the pilots carried any fucking thing they wanted to. I will state that. I know that firsthand. So, today's Army is a little different, even from when I was in, and especially for the hard, badass pipe hitters from the Vietnam era. Everything else, pretty much optional, my peeps, pretty much. So, again, I'm running with the drone medic right now. You got the frag grenades, obviously, and the diversion lure. Obviously, you can deploy any of these, but the way we role play, you get to carry 2 items, and that's it. So, with that being said, my peeps, I hope you enjoyed today's build. And you know what to do. If you're new around here, make sure that you subscribe. It certainly helped me out. Tell all your friends about my channel. And I also wanted to say that I'm really not crazy over the new configurations. I mean, they're good, but one, I like to pan around, and I actually find that I can fly the chopper a hell of a lot better with the old configuration on it. And that's just, I mean, it's true as hell. So yeah, it's what I usually do, and it's a real pain in the ass, is if I get in a bird that's armed or whatnot, oh snap. Ha! Oh, I'm such a fucktard. Anyway, my peeps, you know what to do. Go ahead and snipe the like, snipe the sub. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And this is Operator 41. I'm out.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor, knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes. This day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy.
That's the way you fish right there.
Why even live? These battles cause our impressions of everything that
Stay hooah, peeps. I'm out.